show and grow. 1 p.m. Friday, WNTW. Yeah.
Welcome to On the Mic with Mike here in Richmond, Virginia, here on 92.7 FM, 8:20 a.m. I'm your host, Mike King, and I appreciate you being here with me because basically you could be almost anywhere else doing whatever you'd like. So join me as this cutting edge show uplifts the community and showcases RVA business in a different way. So we're coming to you from the palatial studios of 92.7 FM, 8:20 a.m., otherwise known as WNTW. We are coming to you high above booming Chester, that hotbed of business activity. So please follow my other brands, Mike King Biz. This show highlights partnerships, innovation, social enterprise, nonprofits, and business people and organizations making a difference in the greater Richmond area. So my other brand, Mike King Biz, we just dropped our website as well. It's MikeKingBiz.com. We'd like to thank our show sponsor, Jimmy Comer, Chris Smith of Community First. They're providing excellent service, helping nonprofits be more profitable, totally helping the nonprofit community. Shout out to Jimmy Comer, and Chris Smith over at Community First. Make sure you check them out. They are RBI services as well. So today on the Wheels of Steel and keeping the circus in check, as usual, is Mr. CJ, and he can be reached by calling 804-454-1366. So today's show, folks, is informative, engaging, filled with game changers of all levels. So today, folks, we have joining us Honorable Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger, candidate Amy Wentz, Teacher Talk Tuesdays, as well as MBL Shark Tank winner Tatiana Bush. She's owner of Tati's Treats and Bakery. So along the way, we got to pay some bills. And so keep our partners in mind who you'll hear from. They're doing outstanding work in the community, keeping this show going. So I'd appreciate that. So make sure you support them. We're in some unprecedented times right now, folks. So keep each other in our prayers. Make sure you look out for the next guy. So without further ado, we would like to welcome to the program Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger. Congresswoman, hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on.
I appreciate it. Hey, it's great to hear you again since the last time that we had met over at Mama Michelle's Cafe.
Oh, that was fun. A simpler time.
It was. And we didn't realize it back then that life was going to change. You were there touching base with the community, seeing how things were going.
Yeah. And we were actually, at that point, we were on a small business tour around the 7th district, so our 10 counties, and talking to small business owners about what their experience has been, what the challenges were starting their businesses. It was really meant the focal point to kind of understand the needs of the local businesses here for regular legislation, to focus on, how do you develop a workforce that they need? What is, available in lending? What isn't? What are some of the hurdles, and how can we help clear some of those hurdles? And it was the focus there, and now we're in kind of survival mode at all points. So it's a tremendous change.
Congresswoman, the floor is yours. Last week we had on the regional administrator of SBA, and we talked about PPP loans and all that. The floor is yours to tell us a little bit about what your view is, what's it look like in Congress now as far as what's next, and how are people from a congressional standpoint, are you guys looking at making things better for the small business owner?
Okay, so there's a couple pieces here, and I'll go back a little bit. And I know that you've kept listeners informed, but I'll just go back a little bit. So end of March, we passed the CARES Act, which created the Paycheck Protection Program. That program was meant to utilize the SBA, Small Business Administration, to facilitate loans for small businesses across the country so that they could keep paying folks, pay for some of their overhead expenses, and basically be able to survive. At the time, what was the beginning of the COVID-19 crisis. We created that program relatively quickly. About a week later, SBA came out with the actual guidance. It got off to a rocky start. Some of the challenges we saw is that lenders were prioritizing their existing clients and certainly their larger clients. There were a lot of newsworthy stories of dollars going to larger businesses in the scale of what is a quote small business. And we were hearing in our office from a congressional standpoint, constituents calling and saying that they couldn't get a loan. They were facing real challenges. And the reason these loans are so attractive is because if you meet certain parameters, then they are forgivable. And that's really valuable for a small business trying to stay afloat.
Can I ask you one question there?
Sure.
So with that one, we're hearing now, and for a lot of business owners are concerned that they're hearing that the guidelines were so stringent that business owners are going to have a hard time meeting the parameters to make the loan forgivable.
Yeah. And one of the most stringent requirements, and this was not in our legislation, this was put in the SBA rules. So I would argue, and have actually, that it's not congressional intent, is the 75-25 rule. And the 75-25 rule says that 75% of the loan needs to be used to continue payroll, 25% other allowable expenses. Now, some, depending upon the type of business, some can meet that very easily. If you have an infrastructure or overhead heavy company and just 1 or 2 employees, your ability to meet that standard is automatically diminished, and depending upon the type of business that you run. And so this was brought to my attention pretty immediately by a constituent who is a business owner based out of Henrico. And so I actually led an effort, and many bipartisan colleagues joined on calling on SBA to change their rulemaking on this. And so far we have not been successful in that, but there are a lot of members of Congress who are continuing to push on that. Again, primarily it wasn't in our legislation. It was something that was put in place under the SBA rulemaking. And the intent is understandable. The intent is this is the Paycheck Protection Program. It's meant to protect paychecks. However, putting this one-size-fits-all kind of breakdown of what an average business should be spending on their overhead versus employees, it's just not, it isn't realistic given the diversity of business types and practices across the district. So that's one thing that has been restrictive for a lot of businesses and a cause of great worry for many of our small business owners, and something that I continue to fight on that point. We've now, the SBA dollars were all allocated, so it was very popular. Those funds were all distributed. And so then 2 weeks ago, we voted on a second bill, the Paycheck Protection Program and Healthcare Enhancement Act. And that bill provided more than another $300 billion to the PPP program. In this case, trying to be reactive to some of the challenges that we saw with the first release of money, we fenced off about $60 billion for community lenders. There were a lot of discussions about how do you make sure that the truly small businesses in a community can be the ones that actually get those dollars. Initially, there were going to be, we discussed putting provisions on it. It has to go to these types of business, employee numbers, or, minority owned or veteran owned or woman-owned, kind of typically more underrepresented, and those who were not getting, at least from the initial numbers we saw, as many loans as other larger businesses. And so ultimately, we went with using fencing the dollars for the community lenders, recognizing that community lenders have those strong relationships within, smaller community banks have relationships with smaller businesses, and that's the path that we pursued there. But still, it continues to be a bumpy road for so many, in particular because of the rulemaking. Getting up to full complement by the end of by June is a real challenge for businesses, particularly those that are now trying to hire employees back who they might have initially furloughed or laid off. And so the PPP, I have had so many business owners I represent say that it has been a lifeline. One characterized it as a godsend, but it hasn't been without its heartache for so many others. And as you mentioned, people are worried that it may not in the end be forgivable. It is an influx of cash and of money at a time when businesses need it, but there's a huge difference between, between a forgivable loan and one that is not forgivable. We have that. Then we also have the emergency injury disaster loans, which we created or didn't create, but allowed for this to be considered a natural disaster. So typically these EIDL loans are the ones that would be deployed in a particular community when there's a hurricane or a tornado. In this case, they became available nationwide because of the scope for the states that kind of filed their emergency paperwork. They became available for businesses in those communities. And some of the challenges that we're seeing, it is really about who's getting the money and who isn't. So the focus of that, understanding where we're spending our taxpayer dollars, ensuring that they're going to places that they need to go. I'm a original co-sponsor of a bill called the Truth Act, and this is a legislation that would require that SBA provide information about who's getting the PPP loans. And it's who got it, when they got it, basic information about how many people they employ, and the amount of assistance that they were provided through this PPP program. It also requires information based on demographics of ownerships of the small businesses so that we can track and ensure that these dollars are actually flowing to places that need them most, which is to Main Street businesses and communities like ours across the country.
Folks, the voice you're listening to is Abigail Spanberger, Congresswoman from Virginia. The time is 1:17. We had a couple other questions. Can you hold for a second? We got to go take a break. We'll be back shortly.
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you.
Hey, this is your chef, Michele Wilson of Ma Michelle's Cafe, located at 10811 Home Street Road, Midlothian, Virginia. Our number, 804-912-1644. Come and join us. We have live entertainment, a new menu. Follow us on Facebook at Ma Michelle's Cafe, Twitter, and Instagram. We are sold south of the James.
Having a good name is more valuable than possessions. With a positive reputation, you not only obtain good credit, but the trust of lenders. At Build Credit LLC, we help you gain access to wealth, knowledge, and personal power. Have you made mistakes with your credit? Not where you need to be? Unsure of where to start? Tired of credit companies taking your money and getting no results? Need a home, car, credit cards, trade lines, or starting a business and need credit? No worries, we've got solutions for all of your questions. Build Credit LLC is here to help you begin, repair, or build your credit to get the lifestyle you deserve. With our 100% money-back guarantee, we are committed to your success. Contact us today at 844-214-0554 or buildcredittrust.com for your free consultation. Mention promo code BCT2020 to claim 20% off your services.
Offer valid in the Commonwealth of Virginia and restrictions apply.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jimmy Stump with Stumps Pig and Pint. We're located on the corner of 2nd Street and 119 East Lee. We specialize in slow-cooked meats, handmade sides, and homemade desserts. Stop by. Let us take great care of you. You can find us on Facebook at Stumps Pig and Pint, or you can give us a call, 804-477-3208. We look forward to taking care of you soon.
They say the two happiest days of a boat owner's life are the day he buys his boat.
Woohoo!
And the day he sells it.
Sayonara, you worthless tub.
At Carefree Boat Club, there's a third happy day, the day he joins the club. Carefree Boat Club gives all the
Woohoo!
without the hassles that turn a day on the water into a real pain in the
As soon as it turns over, we'll be on our way.
At Carefree Boat Club, use a fleet of boats as often as you like. They take care of the maintenance. You take care of the fun. Water skiing to fishing, whatever floats your boat, Carefree Boat Club's got you covered. It's like owning a fleet of boats with none of the worries. Whether you own a boat or have just dreamed of it, come sample the experience of being a Carefree Boat Club member. Call today to schedule a tour of one of Carefree's convenient marina locations. Make all your boating experiences water skiing to fishing, whatever floats your boat, Carefree Boat Club's got you covered. It's like owning a fleet of boats with none of the worries.
866-630-5959. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. We are honored to have with us Abigail Spanberger. Congresswoman, thank you for taking the time to speak to us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
So now we're at a time now where everyone is saying we have to open the economy up. but we also have to stay safe. Can you talk a little bit about from like the bipartisan conversations that you guys have when you're trying to balance the two of them?
Yeah, so there's different conversations happening. There's the conversations I'm having with my colleagues on Capitol Hill, and then of course there's the Virginia focused conversations. And state to state, the requirement still needs to be the availability of testing. Testing has been getting the components and the ability to conduct tests has been a challenge across the country, and in Virginia has faced those challenges. In terms of the bipartisan discussions, I'm part of a group called the Problem Solvers Caucus. We're half Democrats, half Republicans. And we actually created a document focused on how do we open up the government and the community, actually. How do we open up businesses? What's the pathway? And that was born of the fact that so frequently, it's increasingly becoming a politicized conversation about opening up or not opening up, and how are we responding to this crisis? And so we created a multi-page document focused on just this: what are the things that we need? What are the components and the economic elements and the healthcare elements? And so we created a guide that looks just at the kind of what are the economic questions we should be asking ourselves, and where do we need to be in terms of the healthcare, public health side of it, with a real focus on testing, contact tracing, and then containment. Because when we find ourselves community to community in the downward trajectory of infection and spread of this virus, we need to be able to get ahead of any possible resurgence. There's broad scientific consensus that we will be seeing this virus resurge. So then being able to detect if we do need to do localized closures, if we need to, respond in particular ways in, either community to community or state to state, is going to be vitally, vitally important. But in terms of the bipartisan discussions, this is happening in Congress. We're trying to figure out, what are the right next steps? And it also varies community to community. More densely populated locations have particular concerns that may not be present in some of our more rural or expansive communities. And so trying to find that balance is a real challenge.
Alrighty, folks, the voice is Abigail Spanberger. Congresswoman, let folks know some of the resources that maybe they may not realize that are available to the small business owner that you guys have access to, that they have access to.
Sure. Well, I would start by highlighting that we have compiled documents and resource guides for constituents. It's Virginia focused, so anybody who's listening, whether you live in Virginia 7th District or not, I hope it'll be useful to you. We, on our website, have, and the website is spanberger.house.gov. We have a coronavirus tab right on our website. And under that tab, we have a business page. And so we have created a resource guide that walks through, all of what exists for businesses across the country. And, chief among them is the PPP loans that we briefly mentioned or talked about before. And so we give background information all about the PPP loans, how to apply for them, commonly asked questions, because we get people calling our office frequently, learning about this and trying to learn about this program, whether or not they're eligible and how to go about applying. We have information also about the EIDL loans. And then I would also mention, for anybody who's a gig worker or working in the kind of non-traditional economy, I'd highlight that in the CARES Act, which again we passed at the very end of March, Congress created a special unemployment fund for those employees so that they can apply for and be eligible for unemployment benefits if their work as a gig worker or their work on the gig economy has been significantly impacted. And Virginia now had to create a new mechanism to take those unemployment applications, and now that is up and running. So on our website, we also have a resource for that. So I would just point folks to information about the PPP loans, the EIDL loans, and for those on the gig economy, the special unemployment fund that was created there. And we have all those resources on our website that are spanberger.house.gov. And we also put together, we're in regular contact with the governor's office. So we've been putting together guidelines and updating them about what types of businesses are closed, what the timeframes are. And it ideally would be an easy resource and a good reference for those in the community. We also have compiled banking information for those who might need those resources, just trying to be helpful. And then anyone is always welcome to call our office. The number is 804-401-4110. It's also on our website. In the event that they have a question about what might be available for them, or if they have questions about federal programs, then we are here to serve the community, and I hope listeners will reach out if we can be of help.
We'd like to thank you for coming on the program. Please be a friend of the program. If there's anything that you'd like, you'd always have a place to give us a call. We try and go across the aisle here to get folks to understand and get together and say we could all get this done. So this is a social enterprise business show, how business can impact the community. That's what you're doing and trying to make it happen. I appreciate your time, then.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate all that you do for the community. And again, if we can be of help, our website, spanberger.house.gov, please be in touch.
All right, appreciate. Hey, just give a thanks to Connor and Karen for helping to make this happen.
Oh, thank you. They are wonderful. I'm happy to, and I'd love to be on again in the future and talk about what's happening on Capitol Hill or answer any questions.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Now, take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Folks, the time is 1:27. We'd just like to thank Abigail Spanberger for coming on the program. I'd like to thank the Carefree Boat Club for sponsoring that interview. Carefree Boat Club down at Rockets Landing. Folks, if you have any interest in boating, they are the ones. So the economy's opening up again. There's going to be activities. So if you ever thought about boating, they are the folks. So Jeff Palumbo down at Carefree Boat Club down at Rockets Landing is the place to go. So on the mic with Mike today, folks, we got some great guests coming up. We have Teacher Talk Tuesday. We have Amy Wentz. Amy Wentz, who's running for office as well, but she's also one of the forces behind the Black Restaurant Experience she's going to be in. And we're going to have the winner of the Metropolitan Business League Shark Tank, the Team Shark Tank, which is Tatiana Bush. She owns Tati's Bakery. Treats and Bakery. So, folks, that's what's happening. Just like to thank you for tuning in. Shout out to all the caregivers. Shout out to my wife would also. Well, folks, let me tell you, we have what's coming up next week. We have starting. When I say that I have some great partners, we're bringing on some folks. So Monday, we're going to be with you Monday through Friday from now on with different partners of mine. Monday, we're going to have Nicole Reed talking real estate. Tuesday, Michelle Wilson and Julian Green. Michelle owns Mama Michelle's Cafe. Julian owns Yubura. It's a barbershop. Wednesday, we're going to have Shirley Crawford from the Women's Business Resource Center, RVA, in Willon, across from Kroger. Thursday is going to be Sharon Oliver, CEO Magazine, and I'll be holding down Friday. So Monday through Friday, 1 to 2, we're going to have information for you that's good information, and it's good for business. Also, just want to let you know, my website dropped. It's MikeKingBiz.com. The time is 1:29, and we got to go away and pay some bills here. We will be back shortly.
and you're listening to My King Biz. Hubby, that's my scam.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. The time is 1:32. The program, as I said, On the Mic with Mike, 92.7 FM, 820 AM. That's my granddaughter, Isabella. She's dropping a promo for me. Real quick, we're going to have a segment starting next week. It's the Community Game Changer, the Community Champion. It's sponsored by a young business who's out there. It's Focus Flooring. Folks, if you ever need any type of flooring done, Focus Flooring is the group. It's Chris Tripp, young man who's out there really making a difference in the community. So with that being said, our next guest, you are on the mic with Mike. Hello.
Hey there, good people. How are you doing today?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a segment that I ran across on Instagram, Teacher Talk Tuesday. Please welcome to the program and give us a little background and the inspiration behind Teacher Talk Tuesday.
Oh, thank you so much for having me today. My name is Brenda Bailey. I am an elementary school teacher, special education, teaching wonderful students who are identified on the autism spectrum. And this segment that I started doing was inspired by all of the funny stories that are just happening in my classroom every single day. And I kind of just was talking about them randomly the first day of school this school year. And I got such a positive response that I decided to keep it going. And now it's just taking on a life of its own. And I have friends, family, strangers like, oh, I just love Teacher Talk Tuesday. So it's become a thing. And I'm pretty excited about it.
We are excited to have you too. So now could you give we got 30,000 listeners. Could you give our listeners I guess an example of one?
Okay, so it all started with at the beginning of the school year. I'm like, hey guys, how you doing there? I see all these wonderful pictures of your kids going back to school. Cute kids, cute. And you got them the newest Jordans and the freshest sneakers.
However,
would you get them some quality school supplies, okay? My little check is not going to cover school supplies every week. I need you to get them some pencils and paper because they're just evaporating, folks. So can't we just work together? Thanks. That's why I stopped like I hopped to keep it a stack. Now you go ahead and chew on that. And class is dismissed.
So class is dismissed. So folks, this is the reason why we had her on the program, because all of a sudden parents have become all homeschool teachers, and they're realizing the value of teachers. Give our parents and folks in the listening audience a little bit of the one where you're talking about scheduling and contacting the teacher on Saturday. Because
that's one of my favorites. So it goes a little bit like, hey, I'm all for you being an advocate for your child. However, my office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So if you call me on Saturday with an irate message, you're going to be a little bit upset there.
So talk to us a little bit from the, so you're working with kids with special needs. We have a lot of programs. We used to, so my wife and I, we lived at a place at the Faison residence. We lived there for 3 years at the compassionate community with about 30% of our neighbors had autism.
Oh, awesome.
So we got to talk about that sometime offline. Talk about the business of school. Like how can parents, when we start, I guess, getting kids back into the routine of school, and you could even talk a little bit about folks on the spectrum, like what's happening with parents. How can parents interact with them during these times, and how can parents, I guess this is a survival segment.
Yeah, so what I'm finding, I think remote learning has kind of been a challenge. I have never seen so many parents excited for the end of the school year. Not this year. Parents are excited too. Usually they are crying like, oh my God, it's the end. But they're like, yes, I am done. I'm over this. So we're all in this together trying to figure it out. I remind my parents every single day, hey, show yourself grace, show your student grace. Do as much as you can, but if you're getting frustrated, if your student is getting frustrated, walk away. I think this has kind of brought light to how the rigor is good, but are we doing it effectively? Are we doing it in the best way possible to actually support student learning, or are we actually causing burnout for both the student and the parent and the teacher? So hopefully this will kind of let us step back and be very, very evaluative of our current education system and how we can improve it so that we can all prosper and progress.
Well,
as far as
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying, as far as my babies on the spectrum, I really push routine and push scheduling. And I'm also pushing daily living skills. So those are the things that I'm really focusing on, you know, math, writing, reading, all great things. But right now they need to learn how to adjust to change. They need to how to create their own schedules and then to really build those daily living skills outside of the classroom area. So that way, when they are at home, they can still function and maintain and be healthy and happy.
So let folks know how they can follow you and find, and also some any other tips that you may have, but let folks know how they can find you on the social media platforms, because the content that you put out. So just to give you a little background, my sister's a principal, and when she saw your thing, she was just like, hey, maybe we should get the administrators take on this right here. I mean, what you're doing is outstanding. Let folks know how they can find it.
Teacher Talk Tuesdays has its own page on Instagram at all one word, Teacher Talk Tuesdays with an S. You can find me there every Tuesday. We have a new topic that we highlight. And then on Sundays, I also do the Sunday Spotlight, where I am highlighting different people in the community who may have been former teachers or finding ways to educate people outside of the classroom walls. Mr. Mike King Biz was one of my highlights this past Sunday.
I appreciate that. That was nice. Everybody liked that.
Yes, it was wonderful because I think that what you're doing is so amazing. This show is awesome. How you are really making sure that people are the partnership. You are really the partnership guru. To see all the amazing people that you're interviewing today is awesome. And you're keeping community connected and informed. So that's what I try to do on Sundays. And then sprinkle in some more comedy with teacher perspective on how things go in the classroom and outside of the classroom. So.
Well, we'd like to thank you for coming on the program. And if there's anything that we can do here, make sure that you stay in touch. And, good luck with Teacher Talk Tuesdays. I'm a big fan. And folks, you need to check it out. She'll give you some survival guides to help us all make it through this time where we are we're seeing the value of teachers and educators. So with that, we'd like to thank you. Thanks for coming on. Take care.
Have a great day. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, you're on the mic with Mike.
Hi.
Hi. Wait, hold on, folks. This is the winner of the Teen Shark Tank. So could you please, Tatiana Bush, welcome and congratulations.
Hi, thank you.
So now that you're the winner, hold on, I got to get your picture up here. So I know you let folks know you're going to be on. So talk to us a little bit about your winning strategy. So how did you become the winner of the Teen Shark Tank?
Well, I had to practice all week. I just did a lot of practice with my mentor, Miss Amira Vines.
Okay.
And then we would go on multiple calls, and I practiced with my parents and my brother as well. And after I got the presentation down, it all just came down to timing. I had to make sure I got that together, and I practiced almost every day. So that way, by the time the competition actually started, I was ready.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your business. You're a business owner, and this is a business show, so the floor is yours to tell us about your business, how you came up with the idea, and also we had talked about your group of your mentors, and you also had dropped a social media of one of your mentors as well. So tell us a little bit about the bakery business.
So I started this bakery because I have lots of food allergies, such as nuts, soy, and shellfish. And so whenever I went to birthday parties or other events, I had to bring my own food with me. And I found out that 1 in 50 kids, 1 in 13 kids in America also have a nut allergy. So I decided to start my own bakery to help kids who have allergies like me.
Okay. So now you saw that there was a problem. And how did you go from, we have your picture up, but I'm sorry, but we have it sideways. And our producer's turning his head to the side, looking at us like That's a great picture. Oh, wait, let me go back. That's a great picture, but I'm sorry we had you sideways there. So please
That's okay.
please pardon me. So tell us a little bit about how you went from having the food allergies to starting a business.
Well, I started baking at 5 with the help of my mom and dad. And that's when I realized I actually love baking. So I decided to start baking more and more. And while I was baking, I started making my own treats. And that's when I started my bakery.
Okay. So now this is a business show. How do you price out your goods? How do you figure out how much to
Well,
charge?
first, I find the price and the weight of all the ingredients that I have. And then I find out how much each ingredient, the amount of each ingredient that I need, have to figure out how much that weighs. And then I divide it by the price and divide it by how much there is in each recipe. And I add it all together. And that's how I figure out my price.
Okay. Congratulations on being successful. Talk a little about your family and how they've been involved in what you do.
So my mom and my dad, they always helped me bake starting from 5. And even now, when I need help, they're always there to help me. And my brother, he is basically the taste tester for me.
That's a good
and
job.
He's trying out other things. Or when I first created my sweet potato spirals, which are cinnamon rolls, but instead of the cinnamon roll filling, it's sweet potato pie filling.
Wow,
And when
that's
I
different.
first made those, I believe he was one of the first people to try them, and he's the one who told me that these were great. And so one of my first sales, I think it was my first sale, I actually sold to my grandma, and that was the first chocolate cake that I made. So my family has played a big part in my business.
Your grandma stepping up and buying a cake. What did grandma say when she tried the cake? She was like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah.
Well, okay. So Tatiana, thanks for coming on. Tell folks how they can find you.
You can contact me at my Gmail, which is Tati, T-A-T-I, treats bakery at gmail.com. And you can also find me on Instagram at Tatis_treats_bakery. And I also have my phone number at 804-464-7149.
You also have some other press things set up for you too, don't you? By being a winner. Tell us a little bit about what else you got coming up.
I've also been invited to the Richmond Night Market, and I've also been invited to do a commercial.
What? See, that's called blowing up. Congratulations. So you're always a friend of the program. Make sure you come back. Let us know how you're doing. And if there's anything we can do, just let me know.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Appreciate
it.
Thanks now. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
All righty. Take care. And with that, folks will be back. You got to go pay some bills around here. The guy over there, he's looking at me because he's saying this stuff isn't free.
Hi guys, this is Kristina and I am the owner of Socialita here in Richmond, Virginia. You may not know, but I have been behind some of the most prestigious individuals and brands here in Richmond, Virginia. Just to name a few, Reba Hollingsworth, the AHA Rap, and Rita Ricks. She is a business and spiritual coach in Richmond, Virginia. And I am responsible for building their brand, marketing their material, and bringing their content to their target audience. So if you're interested in being a star and letting others know exactly who you are and what you bring to the community, hit me up at 804-365-2149.
Purchasing a home can be one of the biggest investments of your life. Having a realtor you can trust is important. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, contact Nicole Reed with Nicole Reed Real Estate. and rest easy knowing that her and her team of professionals are here to guide you every step of the way. With over 30 years of combined experience in financing, marketing, lending, and real estate, you can be confident that you will have someone that is knowledgeable and dedicated in helping you achieve your end goal. Our goal is to help 1,000 families and individuals position themselves for home ownership and equity. Mention promo code REAL2020 and receive $500 towards closing costs and moving expenses. Get a free market analysis of your home, free buyer's consultation, or free credit profile review by calling 804-721-7630 or visit www.NicoleReedRealEstate.com. Follow us on Facebook at Nicole Reed Realtor or IG at Nicole Reed Real Estate.
Disclaimer. Offer valid in the Commonwealth of Virginia and subject to restriction. Must buy or sell a home before December of 2020 to qualify.
Hi, this is Melanie Staples. I'm from Waterfall Salon and Massage Med Spa with 2 beautiful locations in Glen Allen and Bon Air, Virginia. Our business is growing and we're looking for spa professionals just like you. So if you're a mature person that would like to get some extra cash and be a front desk receptionist, or if you are a spa professional who has expertise in waxing or eyelash extensions, or as a master esthetician, we would love to have you. If you are a massage therapist and would love to get the experience of working with a master medical massage practitioner, Nassar Staples.
Hey yo, my name is Seth, and you're listening to On the Mic with Mike, and he always tells me what to do.
Yes, he does. My name is Mike, and that was my grandson. And sometimes I do tell him what to do. So, with the time is 1:49, it's On the Mic with Mike, and we have a special guest on the line. You're on the mic with Mike. Hello.
Hey there, Mike.
Hello, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Amy Wentz. Amy, you are running for office. You're political, but I know you from before the other things, and I just want to say thanks for always giving some time of day to me when I was the guy just saying, "Hey, I'm Mike King. Can you take a listen?" So, folks, Amy's one of the driving forces behind the Black Restaurant Experience, which is uber successful. But she's also running for office and as known as Amy in the Eighth. Amy, talk about your vision a little bit about what's going on and how folks can get involved.
Yes, thank you so much, Mike, for having me. So yes, I am Amy Wentz. I have resided in the 8th District for over the last 10 years. And I am super, super excited to announce that I am running for City Council. I am a lifelong Richmonder, so I've been in Richmond all my life. Started up in school, Richmond Public School graduate. I'm a proud Mighty Falcon. And yeah, I just think that I've done a lot in the community, done a lot business-wise, but it's time now to focus focus on my district. So I'm super excited. I actually, with the restrictions, the COVID-19 restrictions, it's kind of been tough for us candidates. This is the time we're supposed to be out knocking on doors and getting to know neighbors and trying to get our platform out there. But because of the restrictions, we're not able to do that. So I recently launched an online virtual campaign where I outlined my vision and my platform. And I've tried to focus everything about the 8th District. So I've broken it up into 6 categories that spell out the acronym 8. So E for education, I for infrastructure, G for growth, H for housing, T for transportation, and H for health and safety. And, I'm a mom. I raised my kids here in Richmond. They have gone through Richmond Public Schools. They've attended recreation and parks. I used to have my daughter out on the soccer field, cheerleading and all that stuff. So I have been able to witness just all aspects of city living. As a renter, I grew up in the 4th District, rented in the 9th, and now I'm a homeowner in the 8th. So I have a lot of experience being a Richmonder and knowing exactly what we want and need. So I'm super excited about it.
So folks, the voice you're listening to is Amy Wentz, a candidate for office in the 8th District. So the time is 1:52. So you were always, since I've been here, you were always going to the meetings and telling folks to get involved. It seemed like people were waiting for you to get involved in politics. I remember people saying, Amy, when are you going to run? What was the thing that did it that caused you to say, okay, this is it. Now's the time.
Right. So as folks know, I am usually the person in the background on all of the projects that I work on. So I don't like to be in front of a camera. I don't like to be on a microphone. I'm not like you, Mike.
No.
And I believe that engagement and making sure that citizens are active and informed really leads to a better city. So I have focused my attention the last decade on just making sure people were informed. I created a city civics class that kind of outlined how city government works so that people could kind of understand how to advocate for their needs in their area. And, one day I just, I was like, you know what, I should give this a try. I mean, I have a lot of great ideas. I think at the 8th District, we have had a representative that's been in office for about 18 years now. And I think it's just really time for, a new vision, a fresh perspective, and a real positive way forward.
Alrighty, folks, that's Amy Wentz. So, Amy, let folks know how they could find you and support your mission and what you're doing.
Yeah, so there are a few ways that you can support me. First of all, we're always looking for volunteers. So you can join the A-Team, and you can do that on our website. That's amyandtheace.com. I'm also on Amy and the Ace on every social media platform you can think of. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Just search Amy and the Ace, and you'll find us there. We're also just asking folks to tell a friend. If you know somebody that lives here on the south side in the 8th District, just let them know that there's another option out there. I am more than willing to talk and sit down with anybody who wants to listen and just build with me. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share today.
All righty, folks, my friend Amy Wentz. Amy, always a friend of the program. Thanks. If there's anything else, make sure you come back and let us know.
I will. Thank you so much, Mike.
All righty, take care now. Folks, the time is 1:54. We got to keep things moving. There's an organization that's fairly new to Richmond, and we had them, and they've become really great community partners. You're on the mic with Mike. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So let us know who's on the line here.
Hi, this is Lauren Yautello. I'm the director of marketing for the local franchise of Marco's Pizza.
So welcome to the program. You guys I guess you really haven't been around here that long, but you really made a commitment to the community, and that's how you came to the attention of the program, because this is a social enterprise business program and how people are impacting the community. Talk a little bit about what Marco's is doing and to be a positive asset to the community.
So for the last month, we have been sponsoring meals of pizza, sponsoring free pizza lunches for local hospitals like St. Francis and St. Mary's, as well as grocery stores. So Kroger, Publix, even Lidl. We're trying to just say thank you by providing lunches for them. And when I came to your attention this past week, I put out a personal message through the RVA Dine page that I wanted to say thank you to our community in general. So just a way of saying thank you to anybody and everybody who is still open and operating. So anything from breweries and cideries to local restaurants, florists, and providing them with a lunch just to show that, hey, we see you, we are here for you at Marco's, and we just want to say thank you.
Okay, and where are you guys located?
We have 4 locations in the Henrico and Chesterfield area. We're off Midlothian Turnpike, Hull Street, closer to the Winterpock area. Our 3rd location is in Short Pump off John Rolfe. And the 4th location opened about a year ago at Forest and Glenside. And I'm also happy to announce we will be opening our 5th location this fall.
Congratulations. So talk a little bit about the idea from a community standpoint that is in the Marco's DNA.
I believe it really came when I joined the company about a year and a half ago. We were community partners then, but something I've really instilled in our staff is that you take care of your community, and in turn, your community will take care of you. So it starts as small as sponsoring lower income schools and being a fundraising partner for any and everybody who needs us. We have a great partnership with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society here in the Richmond metro area, as one of our staff members is a survivor. We really believe in taking care of each other, and that's what's so important right now, is to show that we are here for each other. And it's as simple as saying thank you and here's a slice of pizza.
All righty, folks, that's Lauren from Marco's. Is there anything else you'd like folks to know about you guys? The floor is yours.
Yes, you can find us at any of those 4 locations. We're also on Instagram at Marco's Pizza RVA, and you can find us online at marcos.com.
Alrighty, appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. If there's anything else, feel free to give us a shout.
Thank you, Mike. You have a great day.
All right, thanks. Now take care. So, folks, this has been On the Mic with Mike. It's been a great program. We've had Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger on. We've had Teacher Talk Tuesday. We've had Tatiana Bush, the winner of Shark Tank, Lauren from Marco's Pizza, and then Amy Wentz. So the time is 1:57. I got to do a little bit of housekeeping and keep you informed about what's going on. As I said, next week, it's things are changed. So 1 p.m. every day of the week, partners of mine are going to have, so 1 to 2. So Monday, we're going to have Nicole Reed, who's going to talk real estate. Tuesdays, Michelle Wilson and Julian Green talking culture. Wednesday, it's going to be women's Shirley Crawford with the Women's Business Resource Center. Thursday, it's Sharon Oliver from CEO Magazine, and I'll still hold down Friday. We will. So that's really exciting. My website, MikeKingBiz.com, has been it's going live. Also like to thank Socialita for really helping me with up my social media game. It's Kristina Fuller. So anyone wants and needs some help on the social media side, make sure you contact her. Like to say thanks to Chris Smith and Jimmy Comer from RBI Services, otherwise as well as Community First, for sponsoring the program. Those guys do a phenomenal job helping nonprofits as well as business owners be compliant and be all that they can be and help their business run smoothly. Just like to give a shout out to a couple people on the financial side. Cash the bookkeeper. Folks, if you don't know, you really ought to stay in touch or get in touch with Cash Bookkeeper. She really is phenomenal. Jackie Anthony over at Atlantic Union Bank over in West Willow Lawn. Make sure you trust them out. Justin Lauder, my attorney, Threshold Counseling. Folks, he is the real deal. He is a intellectual property lawyer helping me get my business order. And one last shout out to Helen Holmes from Miss Girlie's Kitchen. Folks, you really need to get over to Fulton. Helen Holmes is still doing a ton of things for the community. The time's 1:59. Just like to thank everyone for tuning in. Shout out to my wife. Baby, I'm on the way. As soon as it's over, we just like to say thanks for tuning in, folks, and we'll catch you next week. And let's take care of each other. Regardless of your views, let's all stay safe out here and get back to work. Thanks now. Take care.